Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Update: just learned my fiancé was a serial cheater in her previous relationship. Original post: I'm in my mid-30s, and my fiancé is early 30s. We've been together for 2 years, 1 year living together, and got engaged this past December. Her ex reached out to me over social media recently to warn me about her past. He was with her for 12 years. She hooked up with 3 guys in year 3 of their relationship. They were long distance for that year and only saw each other on weekends, holidays. He said he had a few minor indiscretions too during that time, so he chose to forgive her and reconcile. They moved in together and the relationship was going great, and he was even thinking about proposing, when she had a month-long affair in year 7. When he found out, he broke up with her, and she decided to try a polyamorous lifestyle for a few months before trying to get back together with him. He said she was very remorseful, went to therapy, etc., so he decided to give her another chance. The relationship returned to a happy state for the next few years, until she had a 3-month-long affair with a co-worker in year 10. This was very disturbing because she was pressuring him to propose to her at the time and started to withhold intimacy from him, all while she was sleeping with someone else. He said that his self-esteem was very low at the time, and he gave into the sunk cost fallacy, so they tried to reconcile. She was not very remorseful this time and blamed him for the affair because he would not propose. They went to therapy again, and he eventually did propose to her in year 12. That's when he discovered that she had been messaging her old affair partner shortly after proposing to her, and then he broke it off for good. I was really shaken after learning all of this, so I asked a friend of hers if this stuff was true, and she told me that based on what she knew, it all sounded true. Now I don't know what to do. I love her so much, and she's my entire world. I don't suspect that she ever cheated on me for the 2 years that we've been together. It's been such an amazing 2 years. We never really talked about her past, and I knew that she'd been engaged, but she just said they grew apart. I confronted her about it this week, and at first she said that he was jealous and lying about her past, and she can't believe that I would believe a story like that. I told her I got confirmation that it was true, and she broke down crying, begging me not to leave her. She said that she has changed so much since then through therapy and self-reflection, and that she's a completely different person now. I find that a little hard to believe, since we met only 8 months after her previous relationship ended. Can people really change so much in 8 months? I'm currently staying with my brother until I can figure out what to do. I'm bothered by the behavior patterns. She pressured him to propose while cheating on him, and then cheated on him again when they were engaged. She also pressured me to propose. I was happy to do it since I'm at that stage of my life where I really want to get married and start a family. And I really don't think that she's ever cheated on me, but I wonder what may happen if and when our relationship gets a bit stale, or if I get very busy with work. What do you think I should do? Now for the top advice before reading the update. My ex-wife cheated on her fiancé a year before meeting me. I never knew the reason for their breakup, she just said he was harmful. Red flag missed. 8 years into our marriage, she cheated and never said she was unhappy to me. Past behavior is a good indicator of future behavior. What bothers me are the details I learned. She went to therapy multiple times for this in the past, and it didn't work then. Also, the way she cheated seems especially cold to me. Pressuring her ex to propose and stopping intimacy with him, all while she was having an affair with someone else. Who does that? I would never in my wildest dream do something like that. That's messed up. But it just means this is her way of dealing with crap versus being an adult. You don't want that after you have kids, trust me. That's what I fear the most. We've had an amazing relationship for 2 years. I really feel that she is my soulmate. But what happens when the shiny newness rubs off and life gets more stressful? I confronted her about it this week, and at first she said that he was jealous and lying about her past, and she can't believe that I would believe a story like that. I told her I got confirmation that it was true, and she broke down crying, begging me not to leave her. She said that she has changed so much since then through therapy and self-reflection, and that she's a completely different person now. There's your first really big freaking clue right there. Her first reaction was to lie and gaslight. Like, I can't believe you believe that guy. What's wrong with you? There's no guarantees that she will or will not cheat on you, but if I was a betting man, I'd say that come year 4 or 5 or whatever, you're going to get cheated on. Agree, going to therapy and owning what you did is the only way to begin to resolve and grow. If she immediately lies and gaslight, in addition to pressuring you to marry her, I would take a huge step back. Having gone through infidelity after marriage and with kids, it's a nightmare, and I wouldn't wish this upon anyone. If you want to try to work it out, I would recommend couples therapy, and she allow you to go through her phone etc. to start a baseline of trust. After I confronted her, she gave me access to her phone and laptop. I didn't even ask. I gave it a casual look over, but I didn't suspect anything and didn't find anything. I don't ever want to be in a relationship where I feel I have to snoop. Update. Well, it's all over, folks. Thank you to all who made such a great effort to show me the light in my previous post. It was very helpful in forming my resolve. I met up in person with my now ex-fiancé's ex-fiancé, and he gave more sordid details about how unforgivably cruel and evil she was towards him. He also told me that I should look into her work phone, since that was how he caught her messaging her old affair partner 3 years ago. Long story short, I asked to see that phone, and she gaslit me again and refused to show it to me. I gave her an ultimatum that either she show me or I walk away for good. She wouldn't budge, so I walked. About 10 minutes after I left, she caves and says I can see it. Too late. I blocked her on everything. I don't ever want to see or hear from her again. I'm sure she has cheated on me, but I don't want to know anything about it. All future communication with her will be through a third party and only to work out loose ends and logistics. Thanks again, everyone. Peace. Smart. You know, she deleted everything in those 10 minutes. Buy her previous ex a thank you gift. He saved your butt. Now make sure you do the same for the next fool. Damn, I might make him the best man at my wedding, if that ever happens. My trust in women is at an all-time low at the moment. I commented on your first post. I'm glad you're out. Deception is oozing from her. This is going to suck really badly for a while. You do what it takes to get through this very hard part, and the trust in women will return. As with your hopefulness and sense of being carefree. Right now, you feel like you're trying to breathe through cement. You're going to cry, get angry, say stupid things, and maybe talk to her again. That's all okay, because it's how we cope. What matters is that you've chosen self-respect over continuing in a relationship that looks shiny but is ugly beneath the surface. You're a good egg, and trust us all when we say that you did the right thing. I'm excited for you to find someone that shares the same values as you, so you can build a wonderful life together. Best of luck, stranger. The ex has been your guardian angel. He deserves a Reddit round of applause. Yes, he does. Poor guy. At least I got out after 2 years, instead of 12 like him. You should be proud of yourself. Many of us have stayed much longer because we were gaslit and manipulated. You stood your ground and stuck to your word. My ex-husband did the same with telling me after that I could see the phone, but he'd already deleted stuff. I saw some things when I snooped, so I knew. Even if she told you to how she'd cheated, I guarantee she will trickle truth you. Only chance cheaters might tell the truth is when they are the ones that come to you and admit straight after doing it. I will never understand why people hide or cheat. What is the point of being with someone if that's their intention? Honestly, you dodged a bullet. I hope you find someone deserving of you. Next story. Am I the bad guy for feeling this way? My wife had cheated on me and is currently in a relationship with the other guy right now. Some info about us. My wife is the type of person who always needs to have somebody to talk to. She craves and thrives off of attention. If I go an hour or so without texting her back, she would get annoyed. I am the opposite. While I believe it's nice to have somebody around to talk with, I don't necessarily need it, and I can be perfectly fine if I go a couple of days without talking to or seeing anybody. The other guy is obsessed with her. He wrote her letters telling her how much he loves her, how in love with her he is, how beautiful she is. When she goes a few hours without responding because she's busy with something, he would text her every 20 to 30 minutes that he misses her and he's thinking of her. He would call late at night, and when she ignores it, he calls again. He got her name tattooed on his body. He would regularly buy her gifts. So, she goes from having little attention from me to receiving a whole lot of it from him. We met the other night to have a discussion because she knew I wanted answers. I asked her how she can do this to me, and she said that the truth of the matter was that she didn't feel like our marriage was worth fighting for anymore, and she gave up. Why should she continue to put energy towards her husband that obviously isn't reciprocating the effort, when there's a guy who is literally throwing attention directly at her? She did what she did so she can finally be happy. However, she still loves me, still cares about me, and wishes me nothing but the best and happiness. She tries to tell me that she wants to see me succeed, and hope that my next relationship will turn out better than ours did. If you were to ask me, she was so desperate to try to be happy that she was willing to do whatever it took regardless of who it hurt, and that is selfish AF. I am going to be honest, I can't say that I wish the same for her. She can tell me the nicest things, paint the prettiest picture for me, wish me nothing but the best a million times, but the fact of the matter is, she gave up on not only our marriage, but on me as well. And while I don't wish any physical harm on her or her family, I do hope that lightning strikes down on them, and it strikes them hard, especially the other guy, because he continued to pursue my wife knowing that she was married. She can tell me that she hopes that my next relationship turns out better, but I honestly can't say that I hope for the same thing for her relationship with this other guy. I am very close with her family, and they are still in contact with me because they feel for me and they don't believe that they will last at all. I may actually point and laugh if it ends up crashing and burning. She tells me her reasoning was that she wanted to be happy, and if I love her, I should want her to be happy. The truth is, I'm not sure that I can say that I wish for any happiness for her at all. She was telling me about how her life suddenly became a lot more complicated, and she barely has any time for herself now because she went from having just me to him and his 2 kids. I would be lying if I said I feel any sympathy for her at all, because this is the life that she chose. I also don't wish anything on the kids because they have nothing to do with this. If anything, I may actually find joy in watching her realize how much harder her life is now that she has a full-blown family to take care of, and I don't feel bad for any hardships that come her way at all. Am I wrong for wishing nothing but the worst for her when she tells me she wishes nothing but the best for me? Now for the advice. Love bombing like that is actually an enormous red flag that she apparently doesn't even see nor understand. I wouldn't worry about a happy ending to that relationship. Stock up on popcorn. You have better things to do with your life. Move on. Don't get drawn into her drama. When I first found out about the guy and tried to warn her about these obsessive tendencies, her answer to me was, God forbid he pays attention to me. Bluntly, use her love brain fog to get the divorce done and over. Most US states have little leeway on property division, and it is 50-50. Getting the divorce then laying low will get you the result you desire. People like her are exhausting long term. I'm sure you know that. I know that from my ex who cheated on me. She craves attention and validation, and she'll probably move on from this guy when she's bored and he stops worshiping her after a year or 2. When people mention being happy in life, and that's all they literally mention, not anything else like responsibility, devotion, honesty, family, etc., these are the people who ironically are never happy. I know you're in a rough spot mentally and emotionally right now, but this is a chance for you to take a new direction in life without someone who is sucking the life out of you. Oh, and screwing another guy. That too. You will be okay. Get support from family and friends. Take up interests you have in new hobbies, and I also highly recommend therapy as well. It's hard, but long-term you'll be so much better off. Truly, I wish you well. People like that view happiness as a destination, but it's always the next person, next job, next house, etc. that will make them happy. They never actually reach the destination. They just leave a path of destruction in their wake and have no regard for other people. My ex-wife thought she had found it and basically told me that she chose him and nothing would change that. So the next day while she was at work and kids were at school, I packed up and moved out. 3 months later wanted me to come back, but I had moved on and said no. Last story. Girlfriend of 10 years cheated on me with her boss who's also married. Title pretty much explains it. I've noticed for a while that she was acting distant towards me and that she was really close with her boss at work. She told me they were just close friends, so I believed her. One day she left her smartwatch out and I noticed he was messaging her a lot, so I checked the messages. There were messages where she said good morning love, and he also messaged her saying that he couldn't get her out of his head. This was 8 months ago, and you would assume this was enough evidence, but she basically gaslit me. She told me she calls him love as a joke and that he was thinking about her because they had an argument at work. She told me I was crazy for thinking that and that I was horrible for not trusting her, so I ended up believing her. For the past 8 months I've been trying to make it up to her because I felt so bad about accusing her. Well, a few weeks ago she left her phone out, and I had this weird feeling in my stomach, so I checked her phone again, the first time I did so since the 8 months when I checked before. This time I saw she messaged him and told him she loved him. He told her he was jealous of me because he wanted her all to himself, and she told him that he did have her all to himself. She also messaged her best friend and told her about the hookup they had and how great it was. She went into detail about how many times he made her finish, and that it was great to have intimacy that she enjoyed again. Ouch, and her friend was telling how happy she was for her. Her boss is also married and has a wife. I messaged his family and told them everything, and none of them believed me. My ex and her boss both came up with a story that I was jealous of their friendship and didn't know what I was talking about, and they believed them. The worst part is not knowing how long it was going on for. Apparently, her sister told me she had suspicions about them almost 2 years ago, but didn't have proof and thought she was overreacting. They had a work trip in Texas 2 years ago, and there are pictures of her with his arm around her, and she also came home with a necklace she said she bought, which I think he bought for her. But yeah. I'm 31 and she's 33 and her boss is 60, so it really messed with my self-esteem. I don't know how much of our 10-year relationship was true. She never told me the truth about anything. The only things I know are what I found out myself, and she refuses to tell me anything more. We are split up now, and I know she's going out on his boat with him after work all the time. I thought about hiring a private investigator so I could expose the both of them, but at this point I can't be bothered. I want nothing to do with either of them. I've never felt more broken and betrayed in my entire life. The fact that someone who I was so happy with is now living her best life with someone else crushes me. It's like I never even knew her at all. You're only 31, you can start over. Let him have her, she's trash anyway. Once she comes to the realization that he will never leave his wife and family, and/or he replaces her with someone younger, she will come crawling back to you. Don't take the bait. Work on improving every aspect of your life. That's really good advice. Thank you. I had a breakup after 12 years, where the other person had multiple emotional affairs and lied about so much. I did not and would never cheat. When I asked for a separation to rebuild trust, he took a sledgehammer to my life and spun all these lies that I was the unfaithful one and he was a victim. Most friends didn't believe him, but my family did. It was crushing. I thought about trying to expose him. The best thing anyone told me was, you know your truth. It let me accept the reality that he lied in a manner intended to separate me from my support network, and those people believed him, and if they believed I'm that sort of person, they don't know me at all. I let them go and they can all have each other. I'm still sad or angry occasionally, but bottom line is, I do know my truth and they're not worth any more of my energy. Life is too precious to waste. Know your truth and honor yourself. So the boss's wife still doesn't believe they are cheating. I am in that age range. She probably knows and doesn't care or doesn't intend to give up her lifestyle. I would hazard a guess this isn't wife's first rodeo. Yeah, she and the kids freaked out on me and said they would sue for me slander. Like, it was wild.